Hallelujah. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Let's see if y'all can hear me now. Okay. Am I on silence? No. Okay, good. Yes. Do y'all know apparently Facebook took off the Zoom app? So I didn't know that till about 3 minutes before I was going on. And then I had to do some research and figure out, and I'm very frustrated, right? So I need to breathe. I need to breathe. And hi. Hey everyone. Golly, me and streaming software, no matter what it is, if it's Zoom or if it's something else I try or whatever, I mean, it's just been a nightmare. And it could be just because I don't understand it. Could it be user error? Most of the time here it is. So hey everyone. All right. Good afternoon. Oh wait, good evening everyone. I hope you're doing well. We are finally on. And if it says to push a button when you're recording, push that button. Otherwise you're just sitting there talking to yourself. So anyways, I hope everyone's doing good tonight. Got something really cute. To show you guys. And I know it's probably been done before. It's kind of based off of something I saw on Instagram, but a little bit different than what they were doing. So basically, what people are doing is taking their scraps, but they're like tiny scraps, and they're throwing them on a piece of fabric, covering it with something, tulle or organza or something like that, and quilting it and making it basically a new textile. Well, we're going to take that idea and do it a little bit differently and use it in kind of creating what I'm calling a confetti applique. Um, so it's actually really super cute. I was very surprised. I was like, is this gonna work? And it worked out great. So let me show you what I made. Now you can use this for anything. This is just what I'm gonna show you guys tonight. But just to have a little sample. So if you can see in there, that's all little bitty tiny Tula pink scraps cut up into like little confetti. And then there is the quilting part. We're going to call that the quilting part is from IQ Designer. I designed this whole thing in IQ Designer. You probably recognize this flower shape. And it's really cute. It kind of gives it, very colorful, very sweet little effect. And so I wanted to kind of show you guys how to do that, or what is the process for doing that. So I think it's stinking cute. So you can use this as, a regular applique. My goal is to make using my 10 and 5/8 by 16-inch hoop, do a whole big piece of it so I can make a bag out of it. So what do we need for this? Well, depending on what you're putting it on. I mean, it doesn't really, your base fabric doesn't really matter. So I'm not going to talk about that. What I did do is lay down a piece of white fabric on top of batting with no-show mesh stabilizer. And but that was just so I could get something tangible. The other thing is swear. Hold on, guys. So frustrating. And I've had such a good weekend. Why am I so frustrated? Um, Friday night we went and saw one of my favorite bands and it was amazing. And then let's see, there we go. Okay. Um, Yesterday I got to sew all day. Today I've been sewing some of the day. I slept in really late because I stayed up really late last night working on something. So anyways, just want to show you something really fun and cute. So what will you need? Of course, you need your base fabric, whatever you're going to put it on, if you're going to put it on a shirt or whatever. First off, let me show you this. So I don't know if you guys do this, but if I find a pretty fabric line and I've cut it up and there's some little scraps, I'll put them in little jars and just kind of display them. I kind of want to have a wall of them eventually. So this was just a mix of fabrics that I'm using on a quilt right now. It's a very sweet colorway. And then I have some Tula pink ones so you can see the bright, bright colors. It's just something fun to add colorful, little decorations, I guess. But sometimes you have, a bunch of scraps and you don't know what to do with them. So these, what I did was I grabbed my Tula pink scrap bag because I do have one, and really, and I cut teeny tiny little strips off of my scraps. And I'm talking about like a quarter of an inch, and just kind of, I had a chunk, would cut like 2 strips. And then I went over them just by basically cutting into all the scraps. So what it made, let me get that off. I don't want to lose it all. Okay, hold on. So what it made was all this little stuff right here. So look how colorful and pretty that is. So the reason why I chose the Tula pink is because it'll show up really good on camera. I didn't want to do something very bland, like I'm calling that bland. I know it's beautiful, but very bland. Won't show up good on camera, but this will. Look at all those colors. They're so pretty. So and that's what I'm going to use for my confetti. Now, what else am I going to use? So if you have a piece of tulle, that would work. If you have English cotton netting, of course that will work. You just won't see the colors very well using those two. However, if you just get some organza, and I don't know if this is my expensive organza or my cheap organza because I just found a piece, but it's beautiful. And I'm using basically the I don't know what to call this, white, because there's tons of different colors, so I guess you would call this white. And I've just got a hunk of it. Let's see. So I have my fabric hoop. I have what my fabric in. Let me start over. What I have hoop is my fabric, basically my background fabric, a piece of batting, because y'all know I love quilty things, and then some no-show mesh underneath. So because I am a stabilizer crazy person and everything should have a stabilizer. So, and I've just got that in here. Now, what you could do if you design your shape to do an applique, you can just have a basic whatever and then just a little piece for your applique fabric. You won't need to put any webbing or anything on it because it's going to disappear. I think the organza and the weight of the scraps are going to hold it down, so I'm not going to make it any harder on you. Plus when the needle goes through and you have a webbing on the back of one of your applique pieces, and then there's tons of this stuff, I mean, it might create a nightmare. So that's what I have. I actually have a backing piece too. I have all my stuff on a little piece of paper. Just because I made one of these and this is what I'm going to make in front of you. So we'll probably do a different shape. So I have a piece of ribbon and a background piece. But again, this is just for technique more than anything. It's not a real project, but if you want to make some, make them and post them. Okay. So let's see. We're going to go, actually today I'm using the Meridian. So my Meridian Altair people should be pretty happy about that. So I've got it set up. So what I'm going to do is just switch over to that camera real quick and we're just going to get started. All right. So yeah, I got to figure out, make it look good here. Oh, y'all should see this little tiny area that I'm working. Okay. Ooh. All right, hold on, guys, because y'all know. Okay. So what's going to happen is I'm going to be straightening this up because, of course, as soon as I touched it, my tripod went crazy. So let me take a look, make sure you guys can see everything. I mean, that's probably about as good as it's gonna get. But I think you can follow along from that. All right. So this is the shape that I created for this project, right? And by the way, I can't see your questions, so I will get back to them. I'll keep checking in between just in case you can't hear me or anything like that. All right. So basically, this is what we're going to do. So what we have is a, I'm trying to count the steps because I added an extra step in there. It could be anywhere from a 3 to 5 key or step process. There's 4 here, but I actually went back and used this shape to add the backing on. So if you're going to do it with the making like the little cute little hey thing, that's what I'm going to do all the way through. Now you won't need, I'll tell you what step you will not need to add if you're not doing something that's going to have a backing on it. Maybe you're just going to put it on, like I said, a shirt or a pair of jeans, or ooh, that would be really cute on a pair of jeans. Just so. Anyways, anywho, what we're going to do first is, well, what I'm going to do first is make sure there's no obstacles in the way. There we go. I'm just going to go to IQ Designer. All right, all crooked and stuff. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so the first thing that we need to decide is what shape we want to use for our applique. We can design our own shape, or we can use the built-in shapes. You could scan in a shape. You really can do anything that you want. I'm just going to use built-ins today, so I'm just going to tap on that little guy, and I have all these options in the closed shapes, or no, the regular shapes. Then here's some in the closed shapes. That would be really cute if it was big enough to do different color, or like you could do yellow scraps in the center and pink scraps on the outside, or confetti. We're going to call it confetti. That's what we're calling it. And then we have open shapes. However, these really don't lend themselves to it as much. But let's go back here because I saw another flower design. I mean, the heart would be cute. No, I'm going to do like this hibiscus-y shape right here. So I'm going to select that. I personally know that I'm going to use a 5x7 hoop. So what I'm going to do just for boundary, I'm going to come up here to my settings key, and I am going to change my frame size to 5x7. Remember, this is not going to stitch out. It's just a boundary to help me design within it. So you can see that little boundary box right there, not the red one, the one that's cutting into the flower. So that is basically your 5x7 hoop. So we can tell my flower's way too big. So I'm going to go to size. I'm then going to use my proportionally smaller key, which is this guy right here, and just make it as small as I want, really. It's probably pretty good. 4, let's make it a little smaller. I'm going to do about 4 inches. The last one I made was as close to 5 inches as I could get. Okay, so that's fine. All right, so I'm going to select OK. And at this point, what I tell you guys all the time is what? Save and save often. So I'm going to, now if you're on a Solaris, you're going to see the word memory. But if you are on the Meridian, Altair, Destiny, Brother-like machines, you're going to see a little pocket with an arrow going inside. That means we are saving to our machine. So I'm going, or you can save it to a USB if you want, but I always save it to the machine. I need to get in there and clean it out, and then, okay. Something's driving me. Hold on, guys. Let's make sure there's, oh, I'm going to look and see if there's any questions. Hello, y'all. Okay. You're going to laugh when you see this, but it's driving me crazy. when you work in a sewing room all the time, of course you get fabric dust, and I keep seeing a piece of fabric dust. So I use makeup brushes and I wipe it off. Okay. So there we go. We've saved it. Now we can start building. The first thing I'm going to do is change the line property of this shape. So what that means is right now, when you first bring in almost anything, it basically turns the lines into satin stitches. That's not what we want. So I'm going to come up here to my first grouping of 4. So these are your line properties. Below it are your fill properties. So I'm going to click on my line properties. I want to select just a plain old running stitch. So I'm going to tap on that. And if you know me, I just like to select colors because it helps break everything up for me. You do not have to do this, but I suggest it because you'll visually kind of see everything better, I guess you could say. So I'm going to start with green. I'll tap on green and OK. The next thing I need to do is select my bucket, the bucket in the line properties. And now what I'm going to do is tap that line and it turns green. So if you're new to this and you just did this, you just digitized with the touch of your finger or your stylus or your mouse. So basically we just digitized. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is this is going to be our outline. This is going to be our placement stitch. So we can drop that confetti and that organza on top of it. We need to have this. So we're going to select next. And it's going to just be a running stitch. We don't need to change anything. I never really change the length or anything. It's just my preference. Because it's a nice little tight stitch, I'm happy with it. So if you were on Solaris, you can hit set, okay. But since I'm on the Meridian, which is Altair Destiny, we're going to hit preview, okay. And if we look at it, it's now in, what do we call that? Basically, you can see it in stitches. I don't know why I'm forgetting the word. But now we can hit set okay. We have one more step in the Altair Meridian. So and it's okay. Just go with it. Go with the flow. Now we have got the first part of our applique. So what we need to do now is go back to IQ Designer. So we're going to select add. Wherever IQ Designer is on your screen, you're going to tap it. And there we go. So now we need to recall that shape that we saved. Because if you did not save it, and you didn't pay attention to the size of it when you were changing it, it's kind of a nightmare. So make sure, remember, save and save often. So to do that, we're going to look for the button that has the pocket with the arrow going outside of it. So it's going this way. I think in the Solaris that's up here, we're going to tap on it. And remember, I saved mine to my machine. So I'm going to let it pull it up. Sometimes if you have a lot of things on there, guys, it will take a minute to pull up. And y'all have seen that on my Solaris. I need to clean it out so bad. But I'm too lazy. I want to be sewing. So I'm going to select my flower. And I know it's selected because it's highlighted blue. And I'm going to select set. There we go. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go back to our line properties. Select the piece of paper. I'm going to select the running stitch again. This is going to be my tack down. I'm going to choose another color. I'm going to say okay. I'm going to turn my bucket on and I'm going to tap it and I've digitized it. I'm so good. So now we're going to go to next and preview. Okay. Again, if you're on a Solaris, it's just going to say set okay. And then on this set, okay. All right, now it's on top. Now we're back in the embroidery screen, right? And sorry if the camera's moving it. I keep hitting the tripod. Okay, so now we are back in the embroidery side of our machine. So we can see if I tap on this, that this is our placement stitch. We tap on that, that is going to be our tack down. Okay. So now we need to go add our decorative stitches. Let me grab my sample here. I don't know how good it's going to look right here, but I'll do it under the light. So what I want to add next is my pretty little fill in there. It's just so cute. I just love this little technique. So remember, I'm calling it Confetti Applique. I'm pointing it, it's my term. And it's probably already out there. Okay, so we're going to select the add key. We're going to go back to IQ Designer. So what we need to do is recall that shape. So we're going to select the pocket with the arrow going out. Why did I blank out? I don't know. And we're going to select our machine where I saved it, and I'm going to select it again and set. All right. So this one's going to be a little different. We do not want the outline to stitch out from here, and that'll make more sense here in a minute. So what I'm going to do is turn that outline off. So I'm going to turn the shape of the flower off. You're going to still see it, but it's not going to stitch out. So we're going to come here to our line properties, and we're going to select this little guy right here. Oh, why are you doing that? I saw that, guys. Sorry. So we're going to select this little key right here. Tap it quick because I don't want it to zoom in and out. And then I'm going to select OK. I'm going to turn my bucket on, and I'm going to tap the flower. And if you're unsure, just take your finger and just tap all around. I don't have the sound on in this one, but usually you'll hear a little knock knock sound if it's done. So now what we want to do is add a pretty little fill in there. So we're going to go to our fill properties, the second grouping of 4 icons. Select the little piece of paper. You can do stippling, or we can go to our pretty fonts. Oh, not fonts, our pretty fills. So I'm going to hit select here. And I've got the upgrade, so I've got a lot of fonts to play with here. This one just looked really good, but I'm using a darker color. So I want something a little more open. So it doesn't, the thread color doesn't hide the confetti. Okay, so y'all know me. I'm going to hit the honeycomb or the hexie. Is that hexie? Yeah, that's hexie. And I'm going to select a color. I'm going to select pink. And then okay. Now what I'm going to do is take, and you can barely see the outline of my flower there. Now what I'm going to do is turn on the bucket and the fill property, and either take my finger, my stylus, or my mouse and just click in the center, and there it is. So now we're going to go to next. And this is where we're going to edit it a little bit more. So if you are on Altair Meridian Destiny, you're going to see this little box right here. I'm going to tap it, and it says outline on or off. We want it on. That's why I turned the outline off over there, so we don't have double stitching. So you definitely want it on. Make sure it says on. You can hit set. And if you are in a Solaris, it is defaulted off. So it's over here. You need to click it and turn the outline on. You'll thank me later. We really need that on. I promise you, it works so much better. Okay, so now what I want to do is take a look at how big this is. Now, if you're on a Solaris, it's going to go ahead and show you real time the size right in this screen. But for us Altair Meridian users, what we're going to do is we're going to select preview. Okay, do not go any further. Don't hit that button right there. What I want you to do is look at it. Are those honeycombs big enough? Are they too small? Are they too large? Let's say you wanted them to be a little bit larger. So now what we're going to do is select return. Once you hit set, you can't go back. So Here is how you change. You see where it says 100%? This is the size of your fill. So I'm going to just space it out a little bit more, maybe 125, and then hit set. And then I'm going to look at it. I'm going to say preview, okay. Don't touch that button. So you're happy with it. That's fine for me. I'm okay with that. Now, one other thing, in the Solaris, we can take and manipulate that a little bit more. Let me return to this one. I can change the direction and maybe not have it so, excuse me about my throat. Okay, let me preview it. So I've kind of turned the direction of it a little bit. So yeah, it looks a little more filled now, right? Okay, so at this point, if you're happy with it, you are going to hit set. Okay. And now it's sitting in the center of our flower. Now what we're going to do is select add. We're almost done. Now I'm going to add, this is the one where I'm going to add one extra step because I'm attaching a back to it. If you're just going to be putting it on a garment or a bag or anything like this, you do not need this step. So I'm going to go to IQ Designer. I'm going to quickly pull up my flower again. Sorry, my throat is dry. I need some water. Excuse me. Well, I'll do that really, really quick. Okay. So I'm going to select my flower and then I'm going to select set. Now what I'm going to do is come back to my line properties and I'm just going to put it as a running stitch. I'm going to select the color. I'm going to say, okay, bucket and tap. And so this is going to be the stitch that attaches my back onto the project. So I'm going to hit net or what did I hit? Next, excuse me. I'm going to hit next. For me, I'm just going to hit preview okay, set okay. And again, if you're in a Solaris, you just have to hit set okay. And now I have my 4 steps and we're going to add one more. So that's going to be the satin stitching I have on this, or you can use any other decorative stitch you want on the edge there. So you see my cute little satin stitch on the edge? You can do that. You can do candle wicking. You can choose a chain stitch. You can do whatever you want. So we're going to select add. So sorry, guys. IQ Designer. I'm going to recall my shape. There she is. I'm going to set. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my line properties. And remember I told you it automatically defaults to a satin stitch, right? Okay, that's fine. I'm going to select a color. Well, I would need a different thing first. And now what I'm going to do is turn on my bucket up here and tap the line. So now we're going to hit next. And I don't want you to hit set okay or preview okay just yet. Because when we were looking at applique, let me do this, don't do this, just follow along with your eyes. Let me probably zoom in a little bit. Okay, so see how tiny, teensy weensy tiny that satin stitch is? It's even tinier when it stitches out. So we need something that is wider. It's what's got to happen is the stitch has got to go wider to catch any of the fabric inside of here and anything poking out here. If we were to leave this like this, you would get pokies, and that's like those little ugly little threads hanging out there. So we want to widen it up. So I'm going to hit return and I'm going to come to my widening, my width, my widening. And I'm going to go up higher than I did on the one before. I'm going to go to about 0.20. And I'm going to hit set and preview. So we're going to see it's thicker now. See how much thicker that is? That's going to be so nice. It's going to be super cute too because I like chunky. But just kind of, play with that because again, if you go to stitch it out on any applique and that little bitty tiny satin stitch, it's not going to catch everything. Okay, so I'm going to say I'm happy with this. So I'm going to hit set okay. And now I'm done. That's it. I've designed it. Took me a few minutes. I can save it to my machine if I want. So I can make more. I can do whatever I want. But so now what I'm going to do is take you over to, get you over here. All right. Let's see if I can get a little lower. I really need like a cameraman. Anybody know any good cameramen for cheap? Okay. So now we're just going to start with stitching out. So what I'm going to do is gently remove my confetti out of the way. I don't want to drop it. There's a lot. That's a big mess. And let's take a look at this in the light here. So you can see my stitching. You can see my confetti. You can see my basting. Not my basting stitch. Excuse me. My satin stitch. And of course, I put a little backing on it and a little loop. I'm going to show you how to do that if you want to. You do not have to do that. Okay. So again, basting tape. I've got all kinds of stuff. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Oh no. I need my scissors. Oh no, the good. They're here. I was like, I am in such a little box right now. You guys don't even know. Okay. So that looks like it's not clear. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and slide on whatever I'm going to be stitching on. And I'm going to stitch out the first step, which remember, oh, I have to select embroidery, which remember is the placement stitch. Now, what I would like you to do, and actually I'm going to take you back over just super quickly. Let's do this first. We're going to go to settings. Sorry, I'm holding it. And down here at the bottom, you see the embroidery foot height, 0.120. I want you to change yours to that because, yes, you saw Candy then. Because once the confetti gets on there, it's flush. So we don't need our foot to be like right on it. So you can see it's got a little bit of height there. And let me see if there's any questions. And now look at them. Nope. Okay, good. All right. Well, easy, right? And remember, when we are using the the running stitch or the running stitch, it's always going to go around twice. We can't stop that. All right, which I kind of like it like that. I'm okay with that. All right, well, here's the fun part. So now I am going to grab my confetti and my organza. Say that. Oh God, please don't break. Don't drop it. Don't drop it, Anna. Don't drop it. Don't do it. So I've got it right next to me here. And all you're going to start doing now is just taking it in little clumps and piling it on. And I try to stay within the flower. You might have a couple pieces sticking out, but you can trim those later. I just don't want to have to trim a lot. So I'll go back and clean in a lot of it. Or, pick a lot of them up. So like all this mess here, I ain't leaving. So I've just got a bunch on here. And that's probably pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is kind of maneuver it into the little petals there. Maybe. Okay, this shape might be a little bit harder than the other one to really get it. Like, I really might have to do some trimming, which is, yeah, that's fine. Trying to make it easy, but it's not. Let's see. Let's get some of these out of here. And if you're having a hard time picking them up, just grab a piece of tape, pick them up. All right, so that is quite a bit. So I am happy with that. I don't have any open spaces or anything like that. So now what I'm going to do is take my organza and I'm going to place it on top, just like that. And I'm going to tape it down. I'll grab my tape here. Just so it stays put where it's supposed to. Almost cut myself, but that's okay. All right, anything for you guys. I will fall on the scissors for you. All right, so here we go. Now what's going to happen is watch the magic happen. So see what I mean about we need some extra foot height right there for this part. Oh, let me get this stuff out of the way. Sorry, guys. So basically the organza is encapsulating it, if we think of it that way. Perfect. Love it. Can be super cute. Now I'm going to go ahead and stitch out the, before I trim, I'm just going to go ahead and stitch out the fill stitching. After that, I will definitely. So much cuter with the fills. I think on camera, it probably looks like a big old blob, which is fine. My camera is way behind you. So that's starting to look super adorable. I love it. Let me hold it up for you guys and you can see. What's really funny is I'm watching the live behind me to look for questions. And y'all are like 3 minutes behind. It's really weird how that's happening. Okay, or unless it's my Wi-Fi. Okay, so I'm going to pull this out very gently. I'm trying not to knock the camera, but all right. So, okay, lighting sucks. Sorry. So, but you can see what's happening there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around and trim all the organza off and any of these little extra pieces. So let's grab my scissors. And I am using the, I'm sorry if my arm gets in the way, I'm in a weird position. Quilter Select. They're my favorite applique scissors. And if you're new with me, you're about to say it. Anna, you're cutting the wrong way. It just works really good for me this way. So yes, I know I'm doing it wrong. Whatever wrong is. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, generally the duck bill is supposed to not be on top. It's supposed to be, but I find I get closer doing it this way. It's just my technique, the way I do things. So I am trimming all the way around. I'm going to get into all those little crevices there to get the turn the camera a little bit so you can see better. To make sure when this is another reason why I love them, they're so pointy. To make sure when the satin stitch comes around, it doesn't catch anything. I'm sorry, it catches. We don't have anything hanging out. Now there might be a little bit, and I can go back and clean that up. Some of it didn't even get out there. Oh, good job, Anna. Okay, so here we go. Keep going. Keep going. I'm going to cut a hunk of this off and get it out of my way. Okay, there we go. Perfect. I think my points are getting dull. Not good. Okay. I have two of these. That wasn't too bad. I think I did. Thought I did. Sorry, I'm stopping. At this angle, it is killing my wrist. So, but we're going to make it around. What I want to be careful of is to stay outside the line, never inside the line. We don't want to pop that organza, basically. I think I'm around. Now, what I'm going to do is take this over to my trash can real quick and shake it out. Get all those little pieces off. And I just got them all over the floor, but that's what vacuums are for, right? And if you've ever seen a quilter's floor, it kind of stays like that, actually. All right. So not too bad. Look how cute. So there are a couple areas that I'm going to go. And then what I do is very gently put my fingers underneath. I don't try to push the fabric out of the hoop, but just kind of give that a little extra lift, and I'm able to get really close to the line here. All right. Oh my gosh, I love the colors. The yellow is cute, but I love this teal with it. So now what I'm going to do, oh, sorry, hold on, because I'm putting a backing on this. So what I want to do is get my backing, and I have a little piece of ribbon so I can hang it. Now this is going to be put on in the back. Now what I would suggest, I just forgot to do it, is go ahead and stitch these like this. You know, go ahead and stitch the bottom. I like mine to look kind of like this rather than just straight together like that. I kind of turn mine like this a little bit. So that's, it kind of opens more in the front. So, but what I do have is you know what I'm going to do? My machine setup, I'm actually going to stitch it real quick. So this will only take like 1 something seconds. I don't know, a second or two. Because my Solaris, I've been sewing on it all day, it's ready to go. So you can use tape or you can stitch it together. And I'm just going to stitch it together, which I did. Come back through. So there we go. So now she's ready. So I'm going to flip this over to the back. Ooh, I got a little knot back there. It's going to be covered up anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right. So, stitch a little bit more. And yes, there's candy back there. I know. You see it? I am going to take a little piece of basting tape. This is my favorite. It's the Annie, by Annie double-sided, and it's 1/8 of an inch, which I love. The 1/4 inch is always too big for me. So I'm going to place it down, give it a little rub, and hopefully get the paper off without. And my hands are going to be all up in the way here for a second. Oh, I got it. All right, I pulled the paper off. And I'm just using this to kind of hold her in place. So there we go. So there's that. Now I'm going to take my backing fabric and I'm just going to place it over that. Okay. And now I'm going to tape it in place. This guy I'm actually, no, what did I do? What did I do? Oh, okay. I remember now. Okay. So I'm going to tape it, all of it down, just like this. You can do all four sides if you like. I'm just going to do two for time's sake. But make sure when you put your tape on, you give it a good rub. Flip it over. This is a little trick I've learned. Flip it over and press where the tape is. That way, hopefully it won't pull up. Okay. So now I'm going to stick this back on. Like so. I always put my hand underneath to make sure nothing folded. There we go. And now I'm going to do this, basically the attaching stitch. Oh, I have a name for it and I already forgot it. So weird. Thank you guys. Let me see if I get out. I feel like I'm like really, this is not really working well. And it could be because of the new way we have to do things. So here, ah, okay. So it was me. Okay, never mind. All right. So now what I'm going to do is flip it over. I'm going to take the hoop off, not the project out of the hoop. I have to say that a lot. We're going to flip her over. And now what I'm going to do is trim on the outside of the flower here to get rid of the edge. And when you get up to the ribbon, just be really careful. Now, if you wanted to, you could have put this piece on before the decorative stitching, or sorry, the decorative fill. However, you know, I really don't need it. It's not a big deal. So for me, so we're gonna just get real close there. Another way to get really close to where you need to be, let me get around this little point first, little inlet, is you can take and hold this kind of taut and up. So I can see, so you can kind of see the stitches there. I mean, you don't want to yank on it, but you can just come in. If you hold it up, you will get so close. You will be so proud of yourself. Getting stuck on something. Now this is where I need to be careful because I don't want to cut my ribbon. Let me cut a hunk of this off. Put it down here. I'm going to undo my ribbon here. From this, I'm going to hang on to this though, and I'll show you why here. And then we're going to come and do it. I'm going to make sure that I am not cutting my ribbon. If you decide. I just thought these would be, I might make a few and just kind of have them hanging around in my new sewing room. Whenever that happens. I think we're getting closer and closer to it. So I'm hoping I've got what I'm trying to do is get rid of this furniture. So I think that's our biggest problem right now. So, but I found a place that will take it. Okay. So anyways, now what I'm going to do, just in case, because I don't want it to get like hot on anything, I'm going to take that and I'm going to put another little piece down here, just in case. I just don't want it to get caught on anything underneath. So now I'm just going to place it back on, and the last stitch is that satin stitch. So let's slide her on. And again, once again, since we did that ribbon, I want to make sure that it's nice and flat, out of the way. All right, and here we go. Yay, I'm so excited. I'm so glad I chose this teal color. Normally, yeah, it looked a little bright and I was like, whatever. And now I'm like loving it. Okay, let's see if there's any questions. Oops. Hey y'all. How fun. Yes, it is fun, Arito. It's really cute. I love this. So I would love to see what y'all do with this. Again, like I said, I'm going to make a big hunk of it and make a bag out of it. Let me show you. Well, just like a little zipper bag, because I got this cool ruler from Carolina More, or Always Expect More. So it's like a bag template. I know you can't see what's happening, but it's like it's all kind of weird shape, but it makes this, let's see if you can see that. It makes just like a little zipper bag. And I thought that would be really cute with this confetti one. And then when I was done, I just trimmed, I just left like a little bit, like an eighth of an inch on the outside and cut. Um, and the reason why I did that was because that's not what I was going to do with this in the first place. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I was like, well, I might as well put a little back on it. I think that'll be cute. And I did. So hang around to the end because I want to talk to you guys about a couple things um, that I've got going. And yeah, so make sure to hang out. Or if you're rewatching this, or if you're going to rewatch it later, same thing. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining up, or thank you so much for watching. I love what I do. I'm a National Baby Lock educator, and I work with the best people and the best machines out there. And if you know me, I'm obsessed with machines. I know a lot about them just because I've worked in the industry for a long time, and especially working at stores with machines. I would sit in the back with the guys who would, service them and learn all I could. So sometimes when I give you a tip, it's not just me coming from me, it's coming from people who fix your machines. And we want you to make sure that your baby doesn't have to have a long spa day or week or month. So we're almost done there. Oh my gosh, I love that teal. I actually like this shape, I think a little better than the other one. Ooh, oh, I just had an idea, guys. Wouldn't this be cute as a mobile for a baby? Like make smaller ones and just have like a little idea. Steal my ideas, please. I love that. But that would be so cute. Now we have a baby coming along, but I don't know. This isn't her mama's style. So she'd be like, oh, those are too bright. And she's almost here. She's going to be here in June. Her name is Baby Thea, Thea. Thea. Yeah, Thea. We're so excited she's coming. We can't wait to meet her. Her parents are precious. That's my niece and her husband. So we get really excited about babies around here. I know a lot of people do, but I mean, like we're obsessed with babies. I'm obsessed with babies and puppies. All right, almost done. Almost done. Speaking of cute babies, have you ever seen Paige Bartlett's baby? Oh my god. Absolutely, Ronnie. How are you? Yeah, Paige Bartlett's baby is he is the cutest darn thing ever. All right, enough about babies. We're almost there. Now I'm going to cut it in front of you, which means I'm going to take it out of the hoop and just talk to you while I'm cutting in front of you. I love it. Yeah, and I like the wider much better too. That looks so good. So this would actually be a cute little mini quilt. You could put these blocks in the center. What I would do, because you see I'm pulling a little bit though, if you decide not to quilt in here, maybe put a piece of tearaway also underneath there. You don't have to hoop it. You can just throw it underneath. So that'll help this puckering. Or go ahead and add fill stitching around it. Or when you're done, quilt around it. Like Echo would be so cute on this. Oh, hold on to your horses. Let me see something. Oh, that was the wrong thing. Because I have the upgrade. Oh, let me show you guys this. Hold on. This would be so cute. I could do it right now, actually, because I've already stitched it. But wouldn't an Echo be really cute around it? Let's see, I'm just moving them away. And then we're going to hit preview. Oh, that would be so cute. Okay, so there might be a little mini quilt in the future. That would be adorable with the now if you do not have the Echo on your Altair Meridian, that was from the upgrade. You have to have the upgrade to get that. Okay. All right, so let me scooch my way back over to here. I'm talking like you can see me. And I'm about to flip it back on me. Hey, I'm back. Okay. So it's so cute. Oh my God. I just love this. I love it, love it, love it. And to be quite honest with you, not my idea, just kind of a version of an idea I saw. How do you do the Echo or in a rectangle or square? Whichever it was. How did you do the Echo? Let's jump back over there. I hope this is what you're asking. Let's jump back over there real quick. So let's get back over here. Are you going to stay? Probably not. So let's do that. All right. So Ronnie, I think this is your question. Hopefully it is. So how did I get it in the rectangle? Let's cancel. So when we go to this button right here, we're going to go to Echo. Here's the thing. Well, the Echo is only built in on the embroidery side. You're going to check whatever frame you're using or pretend like you're using. So let's say we're using a 5x or a 5x. No, let's say we're using a something a little bigger, an 8x10, but we really just want this to be 6. Whatever hoop is available for the machines, you could actually use it and it'll put a box around it. So I'm actually pretending I'm hooping an 8x10, but I really only want this to be 6 inches. There's a 6x6 inch hoop, so it's in here. And then I can space it. Let's preview it and see, and there's your square. So hopefully that's what you're at. There's only like a couple, there's like what, 4x4, 6x6, 8x8, and then otherwise. Oh, that's crooked. I'm sorry, guys. You know, otherwise they're kind of weird. No, I shouldn't say weird. They're rectangles. So let me know if that was the answer you were looking for. Was that the answer you were looking for? Okay. Where was I? Oh, it's trim. But see, we've got to find it. Here it is. Okay. And let me find my fancy scissors that I love cutting thick things with. The Kai scissors are a dream to cut with. I'm going to cut some hunks off first because it's easier and I can save that for some scraps. So I'm just going to kind of cut around it real quick. I'll show you what I'm doing. I cut my ribbon. I totally just cut the ribbon. So I'm just going to cut it off. Okay. Because I didn't pay attention, did I? I felt it though. So what you would have wanted to do was take the ribbon, fold it down, and tape it out of the way. Don't cut your ribbon. All right. So what I'm going to do is just cut like 1/8 of an inch around. Oh, let me see if I got an answer. Oh, good, good, good. Okay. So I'm just going to quickly cut about 1/8 of an, or excuse me, I'm going to cut leaving about 1/8 of an inch around. You do not have to do this. If you just wanted it to be free floating, meaning completely, or what do we call that? I know. I'm thinking about too many things at once. If we wanted to be freestanding. My favorite thing to use, well, first off, I wouldn't have hooped all the fabric. I would have just hooped a wash away mesh. And then stitched it directly onto that, meaning that I would have an applique piece. You could still, I don't see what, if you get it close enough, you can still use the batting. But you want to just be very careful. And I don't, on these things, when I use wash away, I don't dunk the whole thing on something that's freestanding like this. I just do around the edges. The other way is using a no-show mesh and burning it out of the hoop. It takes practice. I should do a little video on that. It takes lots of practice to not burn the thread. But a little tip, if you have a burning tool and you're doing it and you're having that problem, is wet the thread with a little bit of water on I use a Q-tip and I just go around it. I don't get it on the stabilizer because then it won't burn, but I just put it on the thread and that seems to help. Okay, well, here she is. I'll go and clean it up a little bit better there. And I can always stitch on a little ribbon there. But look how cute. I love it. Oh my gosh. I like this technique. It's really quite adorable. Okay. So let's talk about, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. It's, not a lot different than regular applique. It's just adding something fun in there. Why couldn't you do it for other appliques? Just if you have a piece of organza, put your little stuff down, maybe like some little wings or something. I don't know, I don't know. Whatever you want to make a little more colorful, go ahead and just lay that down on top of it, the organza, and then stitch. Oh yeah, Rito. You know what? That's a good idea. That's actually a really, really good idea. I can just get my little punch tool out. Yeah, because I like using that. I get to use a hammer. So I don't have like the fancy ones that put it all in. I'm like in here banging. My husband's like, "What are you doing in there?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it." Okay. So just a couple quick things. I do want to share with you. One second. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up before. There we go. Before I show you, that way you don't have to see all my other silly stuff. All right, so I want to share with you some stuff I put up on the website. Let's click on it. So website is foreverbblouise.com. You're going to go there. I'm going to really try to get better about doing a blog, but I really don't think people read blogs anymore. It's just more maybe tutorials I'll put up on there. But if you go to shop, what's going to happen is you'll see a couple things up there. So we have got my Coffin Dresden class. That was a complete virtual class that you would get the Zoom link or the Zoom video, which is long. You can fast forward through stuff. I did not edit it because I don't know how to edit. But if you want to take that, it's our Coffin Dresden class. This is a free design. So if you would like to download that. Now in the hoop bowl cozy class, this was done like 3 or 4 years ago. I can't even remember. It's not fully in the hoop, but most of it's in the hoop. If you would like to take that, it's the same premise as the other class. You get a Zoom link, directions, Facebook group, all that. So that I've got on sale for $35. For I don't know when I'll drop that off. I'm not really sure. I'll probably maybe June, maybe I will do it for the month of May. We'll go ahead and just leave that cost. But look next door. This is actually just directions for the In the Hoop IQ Designer gift card holder. Let me go back to this, guys. If you do not have IQ Designer, if it says IQ Designer, you can build this in palette 11. You can build this in palette 11. You can build this in palette 11. Or if you use my design center on Brother, same, you can use these perfectly. That's right. That's right. Diane said the coffin class, one of my besties, Hope Yoder, she made the templates, they're acrylic templates for these. It's really cute. Okay. So here, this one I'm excited about. So if we click this open, it's going, come on. Oh, it's thinking, my bad. This is just a pattern. It walks you through how to make this cute little gift card holder. And so we use IQ completely throughout it. You can build it in palette 11, just kind of use the same idea. We use fills. Now I do want to warn you that this fill is not in your machine. It's just one I used out of the design suites. So you will not be using that unless you have design suites. I made this for a class that I did at the Cotton Blossom, and it was around Christmas time. And the picture that you don't see is the back has fills on it all the way through too. So you have room on the back to put initials. Again, it's fully in the hoop. So you have the lining, the pocket, and everything. And it's so much fun to make. Let's see here. So it's a PDF pattern. It's just $15. So if you want to, learn something a little bit different, I love making these. These are so easy, guys. Once you get it down, you'll be like, oh, I'm going to be popping these out every holiday, every birthday, so yeah, if you would like to check that out, I'd love for you to do that. And if you take or do anything with any of that over there, make sure to post pictures. I'd love to see what you're doing. Anything else? Dear Jane's going strong. So if you want to join in on that, remember that is free. That is over on my YouTube channel. We finished week 2 yesterday. So week 3 is coming up. And that's why this machine, I'm not using this machine today because I've been working on some of my blocks. Look how cute they are, guys. And the fabric is just darling. So this is the second part of week 2, or row 1, or row A, excuse me. Look how cute. So I go through how to basically make certain blocks. I'm picking out the hardest blocks to do on the live, so that way you have some guidance. But it's just a sew along. And on my website, again, there's some tools and I'll show you those tools really quickly if you decide to do it with us. Let's look at those tools. Thanks, Diane. They're a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's just lovely. So I'm going to go back up to the top here. If you're joining along the sew along, I have some stuff for you. You're going to click on Beehive blog and tutorials, and right underneath there, you're going to see a couple things. Dear Jane sew along block list, supply list, weekly checklist for the blocks and the triangles. So there's a couple other things. And also, if you're new to the group or just new to my website, look, here's a quilted. This is a pattern I wrote for the gosh, the quilt calendar. I can't remember the name of it. I'm so sorry. It was a while back. But it's a cute little bookmark that it's not like, well, it's one of these. Yeah, here we go. The quilter's planner. There we go. So that right there is a free design. It's all sewing. For you. And then the mug rug directions are IQ. I need to change that to put IQ designer mug rug directions. And I'm going to start putting a lot of stuff on here. So you can always come here and check under tutorials, blogs, and then if you want to read some of my stuff, you can. It's okay if you don't. I'm only going to use this for certain things. So, all right, so let's stop there. Okay. Well, any questions? Something bit me on my leg and I'm scratching it. It itches. It is mosquito time. Those of you who live up north, I'm so envious. So envious because the mosquitoes are out. I mean, like so bad. Okay. Well, again, if you make any of these, post them, or if you use them in different ways, or if you use the technique in different ways, go ahead and post up in the group what you make with it. You know, I love to see that. I love the interaction. I would love some more interaction on our group. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Also, hey Lynn. Yeah, it is cute. I'm proud. When I come up with things, I get so proud of myself. I'm like, came out of here. That came out of here. Okay, so I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I'll see you next Sunday at 8. And if you are following along on the Dear Jane, it's Friday nights at 8 p.m. on my YouTube channel. And I'll post up the YouTube channel again. Also, I think what I'm going to do is bring those videos over. So I'm going to start, you know, just kind of bringing them over if you want to watch them here. But if you want to watch it live, I would actually love for you to subscribe over there. Even if you watch it over here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because that helps get this out to everybody, all, you know, what we're learning and stuff. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you have a great week. And remember to shop local, shop small, and I'll see y'all later on the flip side. Bye, everyone.